have we got a video for you today. The HearWeGo has just come out, or has finally been released by HearWeGo. Been waiting quite a while for it, but it's all good. With the most amount of torque a bike will ever have. Well, maybe not will ever have, but definitely close. I can imagine. I can't imagine you can go much higher than what it's got. And this is called the HearWeGo Enduro Xduro 5.0. So this is a full suspension version bike that HearWeGo make. Wow, is it a beast. It's powered by a FLYON motor. So you're looking at 120 Newton meters of torque, which is crazy. Definitely a lot bigger than what Bosch and Yamaha have made in 2019. With Yamaha being 80 Newton meters of torque, their most powerful motor, and Bosch being the CX motor, which is 75 Newton meters of torque. Of course, you've got other manufacturers. You've got Shimano steps, which again, you're looking at about 70 Newton meters of torque on their motor. Of course, you get no drag on the Shimano motors. HearWeGo actually brought out loads of bikes, full range of bikes, the whole range, and they came with Yamaha motors, they came with Bosch motors, they came with Shimano motors. Whilst if you look at Cube, you look at Giant. Giant are patriotic towards the Yamaha motors, and Cube are patriotic towards the Bosch motors. No reason. I guess they just saw a deal between the two companies and sort of went from there. But for HearWeGo with the FLYON motor, it's amazing, and you would expect with the motor being bigger that on the FLYON motor, on the HearWeGo, that there'd be a lot of drag there, or it'd be super heavy. Yes and no. So with the drag part of it, you're gonna be looking. I mean, there's not much drag there at all. If I'm completely honest, I know that Shimano steps did a really good job of when you weren't pedaling with the battery and the motor going, because you ran out of battery, or you just want a bit more of a workout, cycling that sort of 20-25 kilo bike, that there would be no drag there, and there is literally no drag there for Shimano. Enough talking about that, we're going to be talking about the FLYON motor. So when you're actually pedaling with the battery and the motor not actually on, and you're just pedaling the bike as a normal bike, you haven't got the battery on and you're not using the motor, you're just pedaling it as a normal bike, there's not as much drag there as you think there would be. The motor could be drag free, but it could be the tyres and it could be the weight of the bike as well. Because if I'm completely honest, I'm not 100% clear on the FLYON motor yet. Yes, I have an idea of it, and I know how it works, but other than that, I can't open my boundaries and be like, yo, this is the best motor, this is the worst motor, because I don't know. I don't own it. I've ridden it once or twice. I haven't ridden it loads, so I'm not 100% sure. Other than the FLYON motor, which is super torquey, out-torques, of course, the Bosch motor, the Yamaha motor by a big majority. There is restrictions to it, so you've got a bigger motor, which is fine, and of course the more torque you would have, you would think you would have a bigger motor. It doesn't really work like that, but you would think that's how it would work. On the full suspension version, so HearWeGo make a hardtail version with the FLYON motor on it, and they also make a full suspension version. They make trackings, etc. But talking about the hardtail and talking about the full suspension, you're going to be looking on the full suspension at about 25 kilos, something like that, 30 kilos. But between that range, between 25 and 30 kilos, it comes with carbon frame. And then on the rear, on the full suspension rear triangle, you're looking at aluminium frame. So it's part carbon and it's part aluminium. And then of course you've got your beautiful RockShot Deluxe rear shock in there as well, along with your front RockShot Yaris as well, which is brilliant. They're air forks, they're 180 millimeters of travel front and rear. It's incredible. It's brilliant. On there as well, you've got your Maxxis tires, which are super grippy. They're downhill tires, so they're pretty damn good. I know I've ridden Maxxis a lot, and they're brilliant. They are brilliant. Enough about that though. You're going to be looking really in the battery as well. So for 2020, they've hit the 630 watt-hour battery mark. Whew, that's mad. I mean, think about that. 630 watt-hour battery. The biggest that any company made last year was 500. Well, I say that, there could have been bigger, but the biggest ones that were made by Giant, that were made by Cube, that were made by HearWeGo was 500 watt hours, and they all hit that, okay? But for HearWeGo this year and for Cube this year, and also with giant with an extended battery pack as well. HearWeGo and a lot of other brands have hit the 625 to 630 watt hour. And you'll be looking, I mean, when you think about it, when you think that last year with the 500 watt hour batteries, you were looking at about the 80 to 120 mile mark on the 4.5 hour charge, excluding the fast charger, that you're looking at 120 miles on the 500. So for the 630, I would expect at least 150 miles per the charge, which is reasonable. You know, it's 130 watt hours bigger than the old one, so an extra sort of 30 miles is not really like, surely not going to be too hard. But saying that, of course, depending if you have a mountain bike, depending if you have a trekking bike, depending if you have a road bike, the mileage is going to vary, and what mode you're in is going to vary. So you'd probably be looking on the trekking at 150 miles peak using eco mode and terrain that you're riding. At riding, you'll probably look at 150 miles. Using different modes on the ranges that you can use, you'd probably be looking at about 70, 80 miles. You know, it ranges. You've got to consider that the weight comes into perspective, the terrain comes into perspective, and the modes of assistance also come into perspective. Really, the biggest thing this year that HearWeGo have done is their motor. Their FLYON motor is mad, and if you have the opportunity to get one, and you're lucky enough to buy one, or you just try mates out, or you go to a shop and you try one out, try it. Because honestly, as soon as you try it, you'll absolutely fall in love with it. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been a pleasure. This is pretty cool. So, first video on YouTube actually, well, podcast-wise anyway, my other videos of the mountain biking ones and stuff, on the e-bike, if you want to go check them out, they'll be in the description. Or you just click onto the channel, make sure you hit subscribe as well, and then go on to the other videos. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So I ordered a lighting kit, so I've just got a few lights around, a desk and a green screen, so and a couple of fake plants as well. What can I say? It just makes it look nicer, doesn't it? And I need a cup of tea, so I'll end it there. But thank you so much for watching. Any questions, give me a shout. And HearWeGo, you've done a great job, and I'm going to consider buying one of your bikes for sure. Have a good night, day, afternoon, and peace. We'll see you guys in a bit.